Whew. 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 Whew.
I love it. Brian isn't even on the stream yet, and I see so many people in all capital letters saying Brown. I hope that you are all well this morning. Brian will be joining us momentarily, but I figured we could have a couple of moments to ourselves before Brian gets in here. Oh, Brian already is in here, in chat. Code Brown. Hello, Mole. It's good to see you. Sometimes, if I think of something, on rare occasion, I will make a note to myself because I want to bring it up. I'm not so sure that this one was really a great idea. I wrote, note to self, anti-abortion legislation is like if someone pulled the lever in the trolley problem and then someone else shouted no and pulled the lever back. Yeah, alright, past Fred. Yeah, alright. Good morning. I think of some dumb shit sometimes. As might be expected. As you might imagine, most of my ideas are dumb ones. The only difference between YouTube and Twitch is the amount of bad ideas I let slip through the net. I have noticed that when I have difficulty choosing what kind of tea I want to drink in the morning, a Bai Mudan is really nice. Oh, that reminds me, I need to change the tea command, I believe. Nope, it actually is still correct. I'm drinking the same tea as I did last time. You tried to use the tea command. The pets. You tried to use the tea command before I could change it, but you didn't know that you were 2 days too late. Do sub messages only apply to resubs? They shouldn't. They should apply to fresh subs too. Oh, I wonder if I fuck things up and I don't have fresh subs showing up on screen. I sound a little hoarse? I do? I'm just speaking more relaxed. This is what I sound like when I'm relaxed. And I'm not. I sound a little owly. Thanks, Neri. Hey, Neri. I'm ASMR voice. You guys okay with that? The Rev horse is so good. Are you all okay with that? I'm not doing it for ASMR purposes. It's just nice. Want me to be a loud YouTuber Markiplier. Hold on. That's what Markiplier sounds like, right? Thanks for the 100 bits, Enzo, to tell me I sound like I'm about to kill someone. That was me. That's my Markiplier noise. That is what Markiplier YouTube sounds like, correct? Was that the hoot of 87? Oh my god. Sora. Okay. Here's what I want. You know what? If I'm going to tell this story, I want Brian here for it because last night, I was doing a regular thing in VR with friends. And Sora had been told a story on her stream. And now that I think about it, it's a very Brian story. Oh, Tank Facts, thanks for the 100 bits. Listen, Fred, I'm gonna need you to cease and fucking desist. Oh, you fool. Do you know where you are? Do you know where you are? Don't pet me like this. God damn it. Who the fuck is petting me when I'm zoomed in? I want to thank subs before we bring Brian in real quick. Tank Facts, thank you for the gift sub to Regular Cars. Hey everyone, could we show Brian the most important emote that he just got by having a sub gifted to him? Yeah, you know. Froggy song. I'm gonna level with you guys. This might turn into Spaghetti Bob the stream with Brian's arrival. Make no mistake. I feel like he's gonna ask, like someone in chat is going to say "Mommy Hamamo," and Brian's gonna be like, "What's that?" And I'm gonna have to be like, "You've not heard of Spaghetti Bob, he who." Who is Spaghetti Bob? Smiley face. March on, brothers. Mimetic, no. What are you talking about? Dummy Dexterous, thanks for the 11 months. Nothing like a soft-spoken tea-drinking owl to take the edge off a stressful week. That should take the edge off. Enter Cobra, thanks for the 100 bits. All you need is what you... Hold on.
All you need is what you get.
An eternal banger. Adam, thank you very much for the 13 months. Scummy Hybrid for the 7. Thanks for restoring my sanity and destroying my sanity these 7 months. Truly appreciate it. I will destroy you and remake you in my image. Nady, 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 Nibi geek, Nibi geek. It's good to see you. Schnee, thank you very much for the 17 months. Yes. We will play. We will play after the stream. We will. Schnee, thank you for the 17 months. They said another month, another sub message. Figured I'd do a little story time. Okay, Schnee, I will indulge you. My mom and I walked our dog on Halloween a long time ago when there was a full moon. I brought a frisbee with us and headed to a park with plenty of trees and a pleasant path. As we were throwing the frisbee ahead of us on the path for the dog, an owl swooped in and tried to catch the frisbee. We continued to throw the frisbee, and the owl continued to chase the frisbee. Good. The wonderful thing about, like, predator animals is that they are often quite playful. Because they have curiosity. Like, curiosity is something that you don't see in herbivorous animals so much. Because they just gotta munch grass. But hunting requires curiosity. Or curiosity at least helps. Do I like chasing frisbees? Maybe. Look, I like playing with frisbees just as much as the next guy. You know that frisbees were made for humans. Originally, right? That's not weird. Radical Baphomet, thank you for the 16 months. Angel Taz Devil, thank you for the 8. Muda, thank you for the 4 crab bits. Crab. And Robert Kopp, thank you very much for the 15 months. I think I missed a couple of subs last stream. That dog Damien gifted a sub to Anti-Reperp. Did I call out Dead Anthro rating me? Because I would have felt bad. If not, and then Emmy also gave 100 bits last time. Yeah, okay. You know what? The reason I missed them is I got a little bit focused on Hades. Because that realm was a little intense. A BD plus. What do you... Neri, thanks for the penny. So many furry streamers rated. Yeah, it's because Nady was here. Pines Away, thank you for the 5 months. Okay. I think it's time. Hacker. I have... real talk, one of my favorite parts of being a content creator is all of the wonderful people that I have met. Both as a YouTuber and as a Twitch streamer. I've met such wonderful people. Hack Orling. It's cauliflower. Everyone, I believe it is time. It is time to bring in Brian. Brian. The man they call Brian.
Testing.
Hello there.
Good evening.
There he
Whatever time it is. Hello. Thank you. Oh geez,
Brian
that is a big time. Look at the size of my my icon there.
Yeah, it's good. I would like to let you all know that Brian was very worried that he wasn't going to be able to figure out how reactive worked. The moment that I pointed him in the right direction, this is what he chose to do.
Right.
Yeah. Everyone, please be introduced to Brian's new VTubing rig, Brian.
Yeah, this is I've come such a long way, man. Thank you for having me on Frederick Newson's live T-stream. My name is Brian. I am the voice, half writer, and creator of a YouTube show called Regular Car Reviews, which is a very dirty car show. Been doing it for about 10 years now.
Twice as long
I guess
as
we're going to talk about cars. And oh yeah, right. And Fred was our fixer and production assistant for three car reviews that we did out in the Portland area. Fred was also the camera car driver. So his Toyota Highlander was the vehicle that filmed the postal truck, which is not a postal truck, it's from an LLV, the Trabant, and also the Pontiac Solstice. We were supposed to have a 66 Galaxy there.
Yeah, it broke down, perhaps to nobody's surprise.
Yeah, which is funny because tomorrow I'm driving up to Hazleton, Pennsylvania, which is like halfway to Scranton. and to look at a 1966 Galaxy, because my next project for my YouTube channel is going to recreate the car from Crazy Taxi, the arcade game.
Right.
So I made a bunch of live streams on my channel just bemoaning that the really, like, this is going to get deep in the weeds, but we have like at least an hour, right, to talk about this sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, we have another 2.5 hours to hang out.
Hell yeah. So, all right, I'm going to definitely have to take a poop at least twice during this.
That's fine.
So,
okay, so I don't know if you know this, but on this stream, we take regular sippy breaks for people to get up, stretch, get hydration. So don't worry, you will have opportunity. To Brown.
Nady Beak says, shout out to my IBS. Oh, there's Ritz. The artist Ritz is in the chat. I was talking to him on, excuse me, I'm not sure which is correct. Please educate me on their chat. Very cool person. Been a fan of their art since before I knew you, Fred.
Aw. That's a long time. We've known each other for quite some time now. God. When did we meet?
I started listening to your content at either the Auckland airport or Wellington airport in New Zealand on the way back from my first trip.
Yeah.
Because I just needed documentaries to just pass the time. So that was it. And it was Time Cube was definitely the one that got me.
Did I tell you about no, I definitely didn't tell you this. I'm listening to a really fun podcast called The Paranoid Strain, which goes into detail on some conspiracy theories and their history. And one of them that they covered, it's like they did a whole series on the nature of reality, and they brought up Time Cube. Except when they wanted to talk about Time Cube, they used a clip of my video. And it was so I'm sitting there making breakfast, listening to this awesome podcast, and suddenly I start hearing my voice coming through my phone, and I was like,
Did they even they didn't ask you? They just grabbed your shit?
but it's fine. No, I mean it's fine. They were just quoting me to talk about Time Cube.
Oh, okay.
Like it's perfectly fair use, right? Like,
okay.
There's no reason for me to be mad, and it's perfectly like it's definitely within fair use. Like, I wasn't mad. The awe was what, like, oh god, my voice is coming through my phone. It was a moment where it's like people are using my shit as reference. Oh god, the pressure.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. I mean, your videos, you break the algorithm. I don't know anybody who can do exactly what you can do, Fred, is where you can put out maybe 2 videos in a year. I know the big thing is that the current one has been a year in the making. And the algorithm still loves you versus everybody else who's in this weird line of work of making content online. We have to be every week cranking them out, or else, like that Billy Joel song, you get put in the back on the discount rack like another can of beans. But how do you do this? How do you stay relevant with such a small amount of content?
It's because it's rewatchable. People can come back to it. And while the information's interesting, it's often very thick. And there's a lot to be heard. And with the storytelling, it's something that you can come back to. People often put it on in the background.
I gotcha.
I do things sometimes. 2 of my favorite content creators, be on your best behavior.
Well, I'm not going to be on my best behavior.
Stay calm.
And for those of you who want more... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, by the way, Coverdell MLC in chat, the person who has the VIP badge, that's my mom.
Hi, Fred's mom.
Yeah, she was pestering you earlier to come and look at our Celica GPT. My family's.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, just sometime. Right. It's not like an imperative. Or GTS. Excuse me. GTS. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Yeah, that's the interesting thing about you. You're not a car person, but you drove a classic car as your daily car for years.
Yeah, I was driven home when I was born in that car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a notchback or coupe.
GPT, Chat GPT. That's what it is.
What's a GPT?
It's Chat GPT. It's an AI chat bot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll never forget when Hacker used it and asked it to draw an ASCII cat. You know what? Let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
This will take like 2 seconds, probably. My parents said, I don't. It's not a lift back and it has a trunk.
Yep.
Let's see. Wait.
Yeah, yours was the second to last generation that had pop-up headlights.
Yeah.
I forget. You know how to drive stick, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fred and I are going to get back together for another film session coming up. We've been talking about it. So I am flying out in mid-April. So mid-April, Fred and I are going to... How much of this do you want me to talk about, Fred?
I mean, don't dox me, but other than that...
Okay. So we're going to go on another film shoot together and a road trip. So you're going to get 3 car reviews. Fred's going to be in the background somewhere. And also probably, I wouldn't be doing my job right and using every bit of content I can of filming the road trip. And something just went in my headphones. What was that?
Oh, I started sharing my screen so you can see what I'm showing stream without having to like wait for it to appear on stream.
Oh, okay. All right.
I should floss in the background.
Shouldn't be doing anything because all I say is 3 little dots and they're all blinking.
Oh, it's loading in that case.
Oh, okay.
Give it a sec. Nady's asking you what I smell like.
You don't smell like anything.
I don't.
That's a fantastic, because we were hanging out. You like made this offhand comment that you don't like always use soap when you shower. You just use plain old water. Is that right?
No. It's that I don't use body soap on my entire body. I just get the important parts. Under the arms, between the legs, booty and feet.
Yeah. So
it actually helped a lot. I used to get back knee and then I stopped. Like I stopped using a loofah and I just started washing the important bits. And and like, yeah, obviously it works because I smell like nothing. Yeah. Apparently. I shower every day though. I have quite my hair, my strands of hair are quite fine, and so it gets greasy quickly.
Oh, your hair. It's like what I imagine Squiggar Squirrel's hair feels like. Oh, yeah.
Why does the weird Cosmans once who talks about my hairs?
Stop scompies me. Stop. I can't do Toki.
Oh, I love the clouds. Oh my god.
Oh, that is good.
I do a couple of good impressions. My best one by far is Meatwad, I think. What was it? What are you doing?
Oh, hey Carl, how's it going?
Hey, what?
Holy crap.
Well, I'm just power washing.
What are you doing that for? You're just gonna die.
Somebody hook me up with a flame. I'm having a knit fit.
I'm gonna call him Ham Banana.
How do you do that? I'm really envious of everybody who can do voices because I can't do any of them.
It's okay. There's some voices that I just cannot do. Like I can't do any of the other voices, which is too bad because Master Shake has some of the best lines. Easily one of Master Shake's best lines is like when he's talking to Frylock and he says, what is it? Why do you have a problem? You're black?
Yeah.
You sound black?
Yeah. Yeah, Farrah says everybody has a Hank Hill and no one has a good Hank Hill. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah, it's true.
That's a Nick Roman line. Who isn't?
Oh, that's a really good one. That's a really good line.
Damn it, Bobby. No, yeah, I don't have him.
Damn it, Bobby. Bobby? Let me see.
It was so weird. Like I was never on Cumtown, but I was on the Adam Friedland show. So it was just, it was just Nick Mullen and Adam Friedland, but Stavros, at this time had
Bobby, every time
solo.
Whoops. Sorry. That was louder than I intended.
Hanging out with someone who's has the legit gift of mimicry.
Right.
Who's comedian Nick Mullen. And he just drops into Sebastian Maniscalco, I think, the comedian Sebastian Maniscalco. He played the role of Crazy Joe Davola in The Irishman, the guy who gets shot in the restaurant, and then that, and it's bam, he just drops into it immediately, and I'm like, how does a voice do? How does a voice and a throat do that? It's nuts.
Training. A lot of it's practice, like practice and or training.
Farah says Nick writes some fantastic lines. Yeah, Nick Roman does. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you two are amazing writers. Like you literally had a moment, like Brian and I chat. I felt really bad because I haven't been replying like at all, or I haven't been talking at all this week because I've just been gone. Like I've been so buried, but. Like sometimes Brian will just write something to me and it is the most beautiful pastiche. Like he just describing his day is the most beautiful thing. I feel like you can see the threads of like the American literary tradition when Brian writes anything.
Oh, thanks, man. Means a lot coming from you.
You can tell that I haven't confirmed this, but I feel like you can tell that you've read a lot of classic American writers from like the 1800s.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like to me.
I know there's no other way to say this without coming out bragging, but I have a master's degree in English literature, so
yeah,
I put in my time.
Mm-hmm. That
and it's
shows.
actually working in some weird way because I was
is.
super depressed because after I graduated, I'm washing dishes in a cafe. It's like, God, I have a fucking master's degree and I'm making minimum wage. And then, couple of years later, I'm on a plane going to California.
Right.
It was all combining the classical tradition with dick jokes, which I guess if you read Canterbury Tales, it's always been that way.
Oh, like if there's one thing I've learned from Shakespeare, it's that if a writer can find a funny way to talk about pussy, he will.
You know what's funny? Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but literally we were talking about Nick Mullen, and he just texted me.
Oh, really? Get him in here.
Yeah,
so I can show. Wait, can you see my screen now?
Hang
or is
on.
it still loading?
Nick Mullen doesn't use Discord.
Oh, I wasn't saying get him in the call. I was just being a bitch.
Okay.
I was joking. I was joking.
I can't see your screen.
Really?
I'll just wait for it to come up on the thing. It's
I'm
fine.
going to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen? Fucking love that here. I'm just gonna show it on stream, and you will see it delayed, I suppose.
Pick Drew says that would be the fucking crossover of the century. I know, right? I mean, I had the comedian Ian Fidance on RCR. I mean, I paid him a fee, and I want to do it again. I want to put Ian Fidance in an airplane once my friend Greg International finishes. Once his PA-28 Archer gets back from paint. So you're sharing, I see a picture of Hank Hill.
Yep, there we go. Here, we were talking about Hank Hill impressions, and I thought of this clip.
Bobby, every time I come down here in this basement, you got that goddamn computer strapped to your face, and you're acting like a fucking dog. What the hell does ara ara uwu mean?
That's awesome.
What the hell does ara ara uwu mean?
Mm-hmm. Do I look like a guy who knows what a JPEG is?
I just want... Hold on. I'm going to show you literally one of my favorite...
So if I can't see your screen in Discord, do I just have to unmute it in the browser?
Yeah, you'll probably have to do that. Like, is Discord really not playing nice?
All I see is just your YouTube avatar or your Discord avatar. Unless I gotta click something.
Hold on, I might have... Oh, that's weird. Oh, you might have to. Yeah, you might have to click start watching. Like, click on my avatar, and then you should see, like, another window, like a third person is in the call with us. That should be my stream. To you.
Gay. I see turn on camera, I see share your screen, I see mute, and I see disconnect.
Are you on your phone?
No.
Oh.
Oh. There you go.
Like you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't be. I don't know.
Computer.
I don't know what the problem. Okay. I don't know why you can't see it then. All right. Like never mind. This is still one of the funniest videos ever.
I gotta undo it in the thing.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just wonder.
Nice, glitched out.
Big crushed. Right, Brian. When I brought you in, I told you that there was a story that I wanted to tell you. So, because it felt you. It felt incredibly you. Here. Sora read this. Oh, Kanzukomo, thank you for the 15 months. A, and Octatasty for the 11. And Boneless Pizza for the 5. Thank you so much. So here's the story. So this is not Sora's story. This is someone else's story that someone just came into her chat and talked about. So, when I was a teenage boy, my parents had me spend a summer at my grandpa's house, and I believe this was after Grandma passed, so it was just the two of us on his lake house. The bed I stayed in was in like an attic-like upstairs room, like the bedroom walls were at a 45-degree angle, and I scraped my head against the popcorn ceiling every morning. They were that sloped and low. As all normal teenage boys do, I had a hankering for giving the old meat stick a slap around like I was trying to rip it off my own torso and throw it across the room in a single motion. I was so absorbed into focusing on beating the meat that I forgot to prep a paper towel to catch it, so I just freely nutted into the air. No big deal, I thought. I'll just clean it off wherever it landed. Cue the most nerve-wracking search in my entire life. I looked down, I looked up, I looked under, and I looked around, but the nut was nowhere to be found. I searched my stomach, the bed, under the bed, on the fucking ceiling, because I knew for a fact I could shoot that high, and it was just gone. I even looked on the fucking dog, because I knew she liked to hang out up there. My grandpa has since passed away, and to this day I have no clue where it went. I searched every inch of that room, and I knew from feeling it that I had a serious load on my hands, or off them since I couldn't fucking find it. It's the ghost nut.
So he felt it coming out. He saw it coming out? He saw his bust in the air?
He felt it, but he had no idea where it went.
And what color was the carpet?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just, yeah, the ghost took the nut. It's... I'm not going to make that joke.
What was the riskiest place you ever busted, Fred?
Oh, I haven't busted in any risky places. I'm boring.
No?
Nah.
Okay. Like, on an airplane. You ever jerk off on an airplane?
No, I have not.
Come on.
All the
way to Austria? The whole way? You're not going to go into the bathroom and crank it?
Brian, if I'm going to nut, it's going... The vibe's going to be right.
Oh, so like you need cranking it. Like
I need privacy. I need yeah.
Oh, come on, dude. I jerked off in a 747. Not only did I get a chance to fly the Queen into the skies, I left my load in the Queen of the Skies. I went into the bathroom, second deck too, second floor. That motherfucker.
So you're saying that you joined the Mile High Club with yourself?
With myself, yeah.
Right, yeah. You, Brian, the kind of person to take a body pillow to prom. Oni T, thank you for the 5 months.
Did you go to your prom?
I did. I did. It was kind of awkward because my date won prom queen, and I didn't win prom king, and that was kind of funny.
Wait, that's weird. So you're both at the prom, but then they mix and match people for king and queen?
Yeah.
What the hell? That's
I
old
got
school American like the Whig party when the runner up gets to be vice president.
Prom cucked. Yup.
Yeah.
Yup. Tank Facts, thanks for the 100 bits. Ask Brian what he thinks about aeromorphs. I know what that means.
Oh yeah, that's where people make anthropomorphic versions of like fighters and planes, and they both fuck each other. Yeah, I can't. I find that difficult to fap to. There's too much going on in my mind right there.
I mean, I guess. Like, what's your hey babe? What's your civilian kill count?
My civilian kill count? What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Like you think those fighter jets are war, right? A lot of them are American fighter jets, right? But like, what do American fighter jets get used for? Killing civilians in the Middle East. Popping balloons, apparently. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, he doesn't know that I'm reading his text, but I sent a picture of the mock-up of Crazy Taxi to Nick Mullen, and he's saying, that's a dope project. You should get Exhibit to put a Dreamcast in the center console. And I'm like, that's not a bad idea. Like if you could have like a Dreamcast and like a really small LCD screen just for people to play, because my plan is to take the Crazy Taxi to conventions and stuff.
Oh, people would love that. Oh man, you were there with me at Too Many Games. You remember how they I got cucked at my prom king cucked. But then I also got cucked out of a good room in at Too Many Games. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I went to your room. Well, you got put up just like at the Hilton Garden Inn, like right across.
Oh,
the
no. It wasn't. No, I'm not talking about the room. I'm talking about my panel.
Oh,
because I did a live history of furries.
Okay.
And they put me in a room, and the line to get in was like twice. Like it went all the way out the door. Like it was twice the capacity of the room, and they just weren't the people in the main hall just, it was so empty, and I had packed this tiny room.
Amazing.
And they were like, yeah, no, they fucked up. They fucked things up real bad. Not that Too Many Games ever is competent.
Well, I'm friends with Ryan Schott and Justin Silverman, the guys who own that. And I think from their perspective, they just didn't know how popular you were. You weren't the headliner of that show. There was some other TikToker, who knows what else is going on there.
I mean, there was Cat Icarus.
Who's that?
Oh, Cat Icarus is another YouTuber who is quite good and is quite popular. Yeah, a gaming YouTuber.
Nice.
Spons. Yeah, so Cat Icarus is just mega Chad. Hold on, let me show you. Let me show you how he does all of his sponsorships. Here we go. Is this? Okay, yeah, here we go. Someone took a clip of it, so you can see it.
I gotta push play in the browser.
Here you go.
Hello, I'm Spot. Hello, I'm Spot. But how will I cover the medical expenses?
Okay, oh, they sped it up. Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. He has a character. Let me see. Where the fuck? Okay, is this gonna give me what I need? No, this is not gonna give me what I need. Maybe I just go to his channel and I'm like, I'll pick a video. Judge. This. Sure, that'll do. Where's spawns? Where's spawns? I can do this. I can do this. This is important. Wait, where is it? Does he not have a sponsor for this video? Please, I swear to Christ. No, I wanna... I guess he does it partway through his video a lot of the time. Maybe it's later. Nope. Well, bad stream. Dead stream. While I desperately search for things. This is my hummingbird brain. My hummingbird brain is just like, I'm looking for a thing. This happened. I was supposed to be around. Wait. I was supposed to go to a thing last night, and I was almost late because fucking Juniper messages me about something, and then we end up talking about Free For All, the furry convention that was specifically made for all of the people who have been banned from all the other furry conventions.
I'm aware.
Yeah, and I just got stuck down a rabbit hole trying to like learn more about it because I was looking for a specific video and I just got hyper zoned in and I almost missed the event.
Oh, at Too Many Games?
No. This was last night. This was last night.
Oh. Yeah. There seems to be a subset of people who are unable to adapt to a post-truth world where the English language is changing almost year to year, and definitions are being reworked at an accelerated rate. And for the people who don't really understand postmodernism and post-structuralism and don't have I don't want to say an academic foundation, but just a fundamental understanding on, signs and signifiers, will feel as if the edges of their reality are deteriorating.
Right, because they understand the reality through language, but they don't understand the mechanics of language.
Exactly.
It's like they know that they have to replace something in their car, but they don't know what that thing does. It's almost it's like they're one step removed from understanding. I was more making a point that about myself that I get really zoned in on things. I wasn't so much trying to talk about Free For All, although that is kind of funny. And yes, I did hear how the organizer, the organizer didn't just cuck her. Okay, her, okay. Cuck is a little different. I guess in a modern context, it's more of the fetish. This is like, while her husband was out of town, she had, 2 Canadian fascist artists over, and they drew the 3 of them on, like, the 3 of their sonas on the whiteboard and left tallies to mark how many times they fucked while the husband was away. I think this was after the husband cheated on her. So the funny thing is now Now Jason FX is the person in charge of Free for All.
I thought it was. Oh, what's
he
his
was
real
going to
name?
be the guest of honor.
Oh, excuse. Who's the? I'm sorry. I don't know these names. The guest of honor is who?
Oh, it's just a furry artist who is like persona non grata in the furry community. Still has a lot of followers, but is kind of like not really accepted in the larger community. Is he someone where like I say his name and he's just gonna show up? I would not like that.
What does he do for a living?
Porn. Furry
really?
Porn.
Just that? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, great.
Plico, thanks for the 500 bits. And Aqua Monster, thanks for the 7 months. They said, "Hoy, Fred." What? Spec Ops Bear, thank you for the 100 bits too. Thank you, everyone. I don't want to know.
He's described as a Katamari of terrible takes. Okay, so he doesn't know how to read the room, doesn't know how to optics. But I've met a number of people like that who, for good or ill, we all have our brands. And unless you want to go back to the 9-to-5 job, oh shoot, I'm going to go draw up French film for this, but the world is played according to some very strict rules, and that's Rules of the Game by Jean Renoir. I think, right, yeah. He also did, oh shoot, it's one of the greatest fucking films ever made. The Grand Illusion, great. The film, I'm blanking now. It's The Grand Illusion. What did I just say? What was the other film that I just said? The Grand Illusion and what? Rules of the Game. Yeah. So that line came from this particular line where the movie is just about some very hoity-toity people all having affairs with each other. And one character, who's the voice of reason, says to the other, the world is played according to some very strict rules. Which he was also making a comment about pre-war European high society, where in order to get what you want, you have to maneuver your way through it. In a modern take, you would call this office politics.
Right.
And for our purposes, there's the politics of the algorithm. And you can express yourself within the bounds, within the continuously moving goalposts of continuously moving but very strict goalposts of advertisers' desires. And when a lot of people say they've been canceled or being censored, you need to remember the definition that, freedom of speech is of course only regards to the government prosecuting you.
Right.
And, even though YouTube is no longer an independent company, it is owned by Alphabet, and Alphabet itself is a publicly held company, not paying a dividend, by the way, cheap ass, but they still have responsibilities to their shareholders, which means they have responsibility to their advertisers. Advertisers want to sell as much products as possible, so they're going to aim pretty much straight down the middle or center left, because that offends the least amount of people, and that has the highest return on investment. So we will play according to these rules. Salted Carnal Mucus says, "Fuck the shareholders." Well, we could really talk about finance now, because if you want to beat,
I don't want to.
Because if you want to beat,
I don't want to do this.
This is where Fred and I are very different people, but this is where we disagree wholeheartedly about many things. If you want to give me, Brian, not Nick, half of Regular Car Reviews, a label, you can call me a straight up capitalist, but anybody who's in car culture is, because the very basis of the thing we like is relying on multinational corporations kicking out a product, automobiles, at an affordable price with an entire network of spare parts to keep these freaking monsters of machines running, and an entire aftermarket community. I'm about in a few months to buy another classic American car, and there's a whole economy around keeping these big American lead sleds running. Anyway, so fuck the shareholders means fuck
Brian.
the idea that your wealth can accumulate over the years. If you want to not be cucked by inflation, you need a Roth IRA, or you need a self-funded retirement account, because your savings will be worth less and less and less. It has less and less buying power unless it's going to be invested in companies that will continuously be profitable. So now, of course, you diversify with your money, but I've made 200% on my money since starting Regular Car Reviews. That means when I'm 65 years old, Social Security's probably not going to be around in the United States, but I'm going to have money for future Brian, old man Brian. When old man Brian gets sick, suddenly there's going to be money available for him to stay healthy.
You wound Brian up. Tank Facts, thanks for the 100 bits, and Emmy, thanks for the 100 as well.
I can vote on these companies. The great thing about owning shares is that every now and again, I hardly ever do it, but I get an email saying, hey, it's time to vote on Apple. You know, Apple's really carrying my portfolio. You may not like Apple, but goddamn, do they buy their own shares back? The amount of cash that company has, they're not going anywhere. Their dividend is very generous. By the way, have you talked about dividends? Do people know what dividends are? People pay you money to have money. Every month, I just get money from holding shares. It's going to be about, $100. Could be up to $1,000 a month just for thank you for buying our stock. And this money now, it goes into what's called a money market account, which is not a bank account. I can't draw on this account. But that money can then be reinvested, or I can speculate on other smaller companies. This is what I do when I take a shit. I spend thousands of dollars on the toilet while ooh, this company, let's see what I'm doing is I just bought 30 shares of QuantumScape between pushes. QuantumScape is a company working on solid state batteries for electric vehicles. It was highly over-speculized about a few months ago, but right now it's trading at about like $9 a share. But if this company pulls out a product, they're going to be a killer company. And if not, oops, maybe I lost a few $100s. That's not to say that I haven't lost anything. I bought a bunch of Carvana when it was going crazy at $120 a share. Now that company took a big dump. I lost about $1,000 on that. And I'm keeping that big old stinker in my portfolio to remind me, hey, you don't know that much. I should probably read the stream. What is people thinking about me just going full on money man here?
No, this is, so going off on tangents is usually what I do on other people's streams. So you're just doing what I do to other people. I'm getting a taste of my own medicine right now.
Hell Whisker says Brian has a Roth IRA so that when he has enough money to buy cans of Barbasol, shove his wrinkly shove up his asshole. No, the biggest thing I ever shoved up my butt was like what did I use? Vibrating toothbrush handle. That was a nice prostate exciter. Because I swear to God, that vibrating Gillette or Schick or whatever it is, that thing was just like a low-key butt plug for straight married men. You just take the blade off the end of it, turn it on. It's ribbed for his pleasure. You just shove it up there and goes.
Brian is telling me things that he's never told me in front of hundreds of people. Like, I am actively learning things about Brian on this stream. I have a habit of just getting very off track and very into like weird, like niche things, peculiar things, like whatever my current brain rot is, and you've just come on and been like, all right, we're talking about finance now.
Greasy Hellchild says. Greasy Hellchild says, Brian, please never speak again about your prostate. Okay, for a while when I used to beat off in the dorm room of Lehigh Hall at Kutztown University.
No, we're yep, no, this is
So I took my roommate's TI-85 graphing calculator.
Oh no. Did you calculate your circumference?
No, but that's a good idea, isn't it?
Sir, thank you for the 300 bits. Protector of Jam, thank you for gifting a sub to Prostate Puncher. And Tank Facts, thanks for the 250 bits. Fucking Jesus. We had a Twitch, like, not moderator, but like dev in the chat for a while. Well, it's been a good run, everyone.
Financial question from
here we go.
Fanic says, what do you think about the fact that I first off, when everybody says what do you think about the fact, I automatically say it's not a fact, it's an opinion. Like a fact is something that's, get me some APA or MLA citations and then you can use the word fact. What do you think about the opinion that before the 2020 artificial recession, well, I wouldn't call that a recession. What the 2020 is, if you look at the S&P 500, it just dips for a few months and then it shoots right up. I think what you really mean is we were in an artificial bull market. There was an expansionary period since the 2008 crisis. Well, to compare the pandemic and the 2008 financial crash are two completely different things. You can look at the graph on both of them, and you see the 2008 recession was worse than the initial panic sell of the pandemic. And then the Orange administration handled that by allowing for a contractory period and decided to restart and stimulate the economy, leading to inflation because of the economic mismanagement.
I feel like Brian, you're more familiar with just like personal finance, and these are like macroeconomic questions.
They are. The federal government, in my opinion, is just going to do whatever it does. And to apply that to your own personal life is like complaining to the weatherman about the weather. It's
right. I feel like Phoenix came in to an independent film creator at like independent film creators Q&A and was like, so what do you think about the mechanism of Hollywood? It's like, I don't fucking know.
I don't even care.
I don't know. I don't care. I can't do anything about it. It affects me, but like they're just over there fucking like pissing into the wind and having themselves a time.
Boneless Pizza says, do you think the 2008 that the government should have helped the banks and firms?
Why are you asking Brian
a macroeconomic morality, and finance doesn't work according to morality?
You guys, Brian was just talking about investing in stocks, and now you're like asking about like federal policy. What are you doing?
Well, he has a fair point. I mean, most of the most of the heads of the I don't know the title, but like the head finance guy in the federal government, I should know this title, have been people from either Merrill Lynch, Schwab, not like Schwab. Most of them have been from the company Goldman Sachs. So that's crony capitalism, people who take bailouts like that. And there's nothing really that you on a personal level can do about that, other than recognize that companies like that are probably well established within federal contracts. I mean, when you talk about banks like Goldman Sachs, they're banks that own banks that own banks. By the way, also I own quite a bit of Goldman Sachs because their dividend is very good as well. So you need to focus. I'd be happy to talk about finance. I did an entire stream with another stockbroker also furry, by the way, and a very intelligent person to listen to, my friend Mike. I think in the fandom his name is Slate. He's really, really smart. And we are getting into the nuances of, stocks and securities are as interesting as the fake economies in EVE Online, because there's just as much drama and excitement.
We were gonna look at funny license plates.
We can.
You say that in the most like, we can if you're a little bitch.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
I just can't add anything. Like I'm hanging out now. Usually I have a few things I want to share with stream. My only problem is there's not a whole lot that I can add.
Delete Twitch 00 says, I have a 2002 Mazda Miata 5-speed. Okay, that's an NB model. And I live in southern New Jersey. Will my car be a good video? I mean, great. A Mazda Miata is to cars what classic game, an NB, is to classic video games as an original Game Boy. Is it cool? Yes. Is there anything deep to understand? No. Would you fault anybody for owning a classic Game Boy, the green and black screen? No. A Mazda Miata is fantastic. I've driven every single one of them now, and I have no desire to drive another Miata. I don't want to own one. I think every single Miata you drive is great. They're all fun. There's a reason they keep making these things. The only ones I haven't driven yet are ones that have like an LS or a Coyote motor in it. And for people who aren't car people, and there's a Coyote motor. Car people cannot refer to things by their names. The Coyote motor is the current Mustang engine, because car companies have to give engines and stuff their own special names, like their black projects. The Coyote motor, the LS.
Why do they always give their cars, like their car parts, furry names?
That's a good question.
Coyote motor is definitely like a furry name.
The Impala,
right? Like
Falcon.
It's furry motor is the name of a furry porn artist. Like, he's gonna furry motorboat you. Like Coyote motorboat.
Big old titties. Big old fat ones. It's like they're garbage bags full of oil, full of cooking oil, just swaying back and forth like pendulums. She's lying on the bed, or her boobs go under her armpits.
Oh my God! Stop! I was going to say, to the point of finance. I think the closest we get to finance on this stream usually is talking about the crypto market. Actually, because crypto's fucking hilarious. Like depressing, aggressively depressing, but also hilarious.
Yeah.
Actually, on Saturday, I'm going to be doing a stream talking about the crypto ATM company that just filed for bankruptcy. Or no, what? They filed for restructuring. Like, what, there are 5 people left of the company or something. One of my viewers is works on ATMs and has some stories about setting these things up, and also has like special interest in these cabinets. I remember, apparently there are some ATMs that act as normal ATMs, but I remember I remember seeing a crypto ATM and I was like, wait, seriously? Like, you can withdraw money from these things? No, they're just kiosks where you can buy crypto. The majority of them are that way, apparently, unless it's changed since I last looked.
I don't know. There's one at my grocery store. It's whatever. Cryptocurrency.
Apparently, they paid a lot of these companies paid a bunch of money to have the stores keep the kiosks there.
I mean, the whole idea of cryptocurrency is the same as people who buy gold and silver. The idea is you're going to buy it at this price and someone else is going to pay you at a larger price for it. Yeah. And there's no commodity behind it. It's a security, if you want to call it that does not produce anything. It does not do anything. It's not really anything new because people used to buy foreign currency all the time. People still do. But it's, same song and dance, different pair of shoes. And the problem is this is a game of hot potato and it keeps going up until it doesn't. And then who's ever holding this turd, loses their money.
Yep.
And people want to say, oh, but isn't that the same thing for all sides? Or, oh, isn't just, the dollar the same thing? It's like, hang on. The US dollar is attached to the GDP of the country. And it also has a big military behind it. Not the same.
Yeah. But Brian, I have a weird neck beard in a basement with a bunch of anime porn on his hard drive backing mine.
Yeah.
Maybe
Great.
it's less stable.
Radon.
Maybe it's less stable, but it is infinitely more based.
Can you explain based to me?
It's like it doesn't really have much of a meaning, frankly. It just means cool, good.
Okay.
Like good in a fundamental way. How do you even describe it? Like, it's one of those words that really doesn't have a proper meaning. Just, like good. What's the opposite of cringe? Yeah.
Okay. Can you explain at to me?
At?
Lowercase a period.
Oh, that's just the sound. Like, if you're surprised by something or embarrassed, you go, ah.
What's the etymology?
You mean etymology?
Yes. Sorry. Thank you for correcting me.
Bottoms. Yeah. Now I'm speaking Brian's language.
Yeah.
Yeah. Based means a good opinion or a good take. That's what based means. Good opinion or good take.
Wave in the background. Freshly washed sheets. Fresh.
Hi, Leroy. Leroy. Hi. Le French ferait. Hello, fuckbund. Leroy is a sweetheart. Have you seen Leroy?
No, I haven't.
Oh, very, very sweet streamer. Hold on. You know what? I'll look up his Twitter for you. First, okay. Before we do anything else on Twitter, I was going to show you what Hacker did. Hold on. Hacker got an AI chatbot to create an ASCII cat for her.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what it looks like. Can you create some elaborate ASCII art of a cat? Elaborate.
So it's a dick with eyes.
It's a lot more than that.
Yeah, it's like a dick with like. Oh, okay. So it's a hyper dick.
I feel like this is too, like, it'd be like pencil hyper dick, right?
The artist Pulsar drew this. Or
I don't know. I'm sorry, Brian. Now you're getting into the deep cuts.
Yep.
I can tell you about like the people who have like the drama swirling around them, but like Brian's got the deep cuts.
Crow QU knows what I'm talking about. He knows who Pulsar is.
See,
I'm friends with that guy. I knew him. I've known him for like 12 years. We used to ride motorcycles together.
Is it Bulsar or Pulsar? Because you said Pulsar, and I was thinking of Pulsar Lost Colony.
Okay, it's just Pulsar.
No, and, I'm not looking. I know
he has some clean art.
That's your cell.
Yeah. You'll meet him someday.
That's
If
your
you come out
Sal.
to Pennsylvania, we'll go get tacos.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, the guy's smart. He's really good
I
with
believe you.
Blender, bunch of other things. Also a veteran, and he's in the Navy and owned a bunch of motorcycles. Did a ride together. I reviewed his Ninja. He had a Ninja 250 for a while with a Bad Dragon sticker on it, and then he got a Suzuki SV 650, which is a wheelie machine, great motorcycle. He had an Audi TT for a while, which he called one of the gayest cars in the world, and he is. And he said, "I'm a graphic like at the time he was living in Portland for a while, and he says, I'm a graphic designer in Portland. I'm gay, and I drive a fucking Audi TT. My God, how could I be more stereotypic? An Audi TT is so the non-car people. An Audi TT is what you drive if you have too much money. Like you don't want to be seen driving like a Beetle, like a Beetle or Miata. Audi TTs are more complicated. You can be all-wheel drive. They have turbochargers on them. They're fun, but they're weird. So yeah, he had a first gen too. He edited like one or two of my videos too.
Okay, here we go. I'm getting funny French foray with for you.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay, here new video. Very cute. This is a Leroy. This is now a Leroy appreciation stream.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna wait here now. I'm gonna wait here.
Oh, is that Skyrim?
No, it's. I think it's. Was it Dark and Darker?
Oh.
It's kind of like a it's a battle royale, I think, but medieval, right? Because I haven't looked into it at all. I've been so buried recently. I've got my own little weird games. I was telling Brian about my brain rot Ixion.
Okay, I'm gonna wait here now. I'm gonna wait here.
That scream is so good. Dungeons and Dragons, a sort of sword and sorcery battle royale. Yeah, dungeon crawler battle royale. Okay. Hey, Duper. Okay, I had a moment because I've been chatting with Duper, and Duper. I saw that Duper was playing Phantasy Star Online Blue Burst, like the old one, and I was like, oh my god, you play Blue Burst. Duper's getting lost in the sauce. Oh my god. I had the most surreal moment growing up. So I was a fencer, and two of my fencing masters, like I end up bringing up Phantasy Star Online, and two of my fencing masters, because there were three masters there, two of them played Phantasy Star for the GameCube. So I brought my memory card over and played with them. They were so much more leveled than I was. They were just like breaking everything, and I'm spamming the most powerful shit I have just to try to keep up. Just desperately. I was just outclassed in Phantasy Star Online by my fencing masters, because one of my fencing masters lived in an apartment literally like a 2-minute walk away from the center.
Okay.
And so we all just went over to his apartment and played Phantasy Star. Hey, Gray. Oh, Spectral sent you here something about chess memes. Oh yeah, it was very fun. We recently looked at a chess game between Stockfish, the chess engine that is sort of the standard. It's open source. Duper, I want to play PSO with you. I want to play PSO with you. The Stockfish is the go-to engine, right? Like if you're talking about chess computers, it is the baseline, and it can be, I think it's, what is it rated? It's over 3,000 right now. Like it plays the equivalent of over 3,000, so it can beat the best chess player in the world. In fact, Magnus Carlsen, the current world champion, not much longer, because he's surrendering the title. But he is the best chess player in the world. He refuses to play against computers because he's like, why? They'll just beat me. There's no point. So he just doesn't. Like, there's nothing to prove. But someone decided to put Stockfish up against ChatGPT, a chat AI. And it was the most wonderful chaos. It captured its own pieces. It spawned new pieces. It was amazing. And then, like, claimed victory after blundering a piece. It was so funny.
So, it no longer followed the rules of the game?
Well, the reason is that chat AI, they try to figure out, based on your input, what the most reasonable next word is. So it figures out the first word in a response that would reasonably be given to what you're saying, and then figures out the word that is most likely to come after that one. So it's very granular in that way. Like ChatGPT and chatbots like that do not think. There are AI that are quite advanced that are in developmental stages, but the AI that are generally available now don't think the same way that that you would think an AI would or a human would. And so when it sees when it sees the move, you say, hey, let's play a game of chess, and it says sure. You make you play white and you say e4. Well, the most, when it looks around and it looks at its references, the most common response to e4 is e5. There was actually a point where the person made a move, and then it made the move, ChatGPT made the move e5 for a second time, because e5 is a common response to that move.
So it's the pieces on the chessboard are just moving any old way.
Right, it's just a nightmare because ChatGPT doesn't know the board. It's not making decisions. It's just, what is the most common response to them saying this move?
Gotcha.
And so it's very amusing. That's what happened. It ended up creating just the most incredible game.
I think I'd like to watch that. What can you tell me about? Oh, hell yeah! Ooh, sorry, I'm looking at pornography. I'm going to send you some.
Thanks, Brian.
What do you think about it's cars? What do you think about Nothing Forever, the Seinfeld AI bot?
That was incredible.
Yeah. Is it
beautiful
a real
project.
AI? It's not. It's just making that up on the fly.
Oh, no. It is not AI. So AI as we think of it, even if we do create a sentient computer, we can't think about it in terms of a human thinking. It's not going to approach problems the same way. That's why AI generated images, quote unquote, end up being really weird some of the time, because it's when we make a mistake, it's a mistake that a human would make. Right? That's a silly mistake, but we're coming at it from a human perspective. With an AI, if it makes a mistake, it's going to feel very uncanny because it is approaching the problem from a different perspective and is solving it in a different way. That's why AI image generation looks so weird and uncanny. I loved what was it, Nothing Forever, because I saw it as an art piece.
Yeah,
I saw it as an art piece. It's a commentary on generated media.
Mm-hmm. I'm sending you pictures of the car. If the car was a bottom on Discord.
Okay. Discord. That's where I need to be looking.
This is called a Subaru Sandbar. It's part of K-Trucks for Japan, which you can now buy in the United States. They are tiny little vans and tiny little trucks made to navigate Tokyo and other large cities.
Yeah, no, this screams Japanese because the needs of Japanese drivers are so different because the roads are narrower, a lot more turns. Yeah,
they are so much fun to drive. They get very good gas mileage. The only downside is there's no part network. for them. So you're going to have to find them. If something breaks, you just can't go to the store because these cars were never sold here. The part numbers and SKU numbers are different. They have engines that were never brought over here. They have tiny little engines. Just they're adorable.
I think that sometimes cars, like certain cars, and not that I'm a car expert, but I think that sometimes cars are made for specific need, like to meet specific needs.
Yeah.
An American will look at a car from another country and be like, what the fuck am I supposed to use that for? That's not going to meet my needs. Well, congratulations. It wasn't made for your needs. It's the sort of idea of, I'm trying to think. Why is that person buying a burrito? I hate burritos.
Yeah. Well, I need sustenance and need it in my face hole now.
And I like burritos. Like this isn't for you.
Yeah.
I think that there's a very American impulse to say like your thing is stupid and I don't like it because it doesn't meet my needs.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Is that an American thing? Can anyone back me up on this? It feels American.
Yeah, very egotistical. Ender Koba says, regular cars, any opinions on a 2003 Mitsubishi Eclipse? So you want a DSM car. Fred, briefly in the late 90s and early 2000s, Chrysler and Mitsubishi had a tag team match. And they teamed up and they created a new sub-company between them called Diamond Star Motors. So the cars were half American and half Japanese. This sort of thing happens all the time beneath the scenes, but never has.
Did we make a video on this thing?
An Eclipse? I think I had like an older one there. They're weird cars.
Right.
We have a similar thing going on here now between Toyota. Well, that's Toyota and Subaru. That's both two Japanese car companies. Although Subaru is interesting because it's one of the last of the true independent car companies.
Right.
By the way, I would never buy stock in any automotive manufacturer because the stock price is heavily dependent on the disposable income in the country in which that stock is being offered. So it fluctuates too much. You can have some in your portfolio if you want, but I wouldn't rely on it as for the accumulation of wealth. Anyway, so yes, you can buy a Mitsubishi Eclipse, but recognize that you're buying a car, you're getting into a relationship with someone whose parents are going through a nasty divorce. Its parts are disappearing for DSM cars. They look neat. They're very iconic of their era. They're into the 2000s. I like them when I see them, understanding you're not really buying anything that's fast. Yes, some of them, there was the Mitsubishi Eclipse Turbo of the late 90s, that they were good, but this is like buying a car. This is like buying a computer off of some teenager from Facebook Marketplace who I overclocked it, and it's not a water-cooled computer, and the computer is going to get hot, stuff like that. Even from the factory, there were a little bit of basket cases. So I wouldn't, buy one, but don't think that you're going to commute or live with this car. This is going to be a little bit of Frankenstein monster that's going to sit in your garage. And by the way, if you really want to get into cars, work on your own career and wealth building, and either buy or rent a house that has a garage. Don't be that guy who parks their projects on the street. That's
I knew some people growing up who their dad was really into, what was it? I think it was actually Toyota Celicas.
Hell yeah.
Like, just had way too many of them, and they're like sitting out front, like their yard was littered with them. And it's like, man, he's just got, a small, maybe like lower middle or middle class house. And it's like, it cannot accommodate all of these cars.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'd like to point out, I can tell who's come in from your viewership because they always are just asking car questions immediately.
Yeah.
Like that. Hey, remember when I said we were going to have a sippy break?
Yep, the time?
That was supposed to happen like half an hour ago.
Okay. Yeah, I can go get some coffee and pee break and get some food.
Yeah, here's what we're going to do, everyone. We're going to stand up. We're going to stretch our legs, stretch our arms, get ourselves a sippy. I am going to refill my teacup. I'm having a really pleasant Bai Mudan from Stephen Smith. You can do the command tea. I really want to see if one day I can get a sponsorship from a tea distributor. That would be awesome.
I got you want to talk to my agent? I have a brand agent who gets me stuff.
That might be an idea. We might have to discuss with a few different people actually. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it after the stream.
Hell yeah.
I don't think that tea
Taking off
distributors
my headphones
usually.
now.
All right. Okay, everyone, sippy break. See you all in just a couple of minutes. Seriously, these breaks are not very long. Just get yourself some hydration. And also,
take a shit
if you need to. I am back. I think that Brian might still be doing his Brian thing. Oh, I see activity.
Getting food.
There we go. No worries. Oh, Gray Leopard, I'm glad. Oh, Lyrical Luke, thanks for the bit. Thanks for flicking a penny at me. It saw me on Whiskey's game show. Oh, it's amazing that people see me on Whiskey's game shows and are like, I want to see that. A certain kind. 10 facts, thanks to the 60. Stimulate me with the Gillette, Brian.
Oh yeah, I'll get that down into you. Lay next to each other and look at the stick on glowing dark stars on the ceiling of my bedroom while the window's open and hear the highway in the background.
Lima Loring, I don't have a Twitch Discord. I have one for subs if you're connected, but that's just for like announcements of things that I'm doing. And for getting the emotes if you want to use them in Discord. It's a lot to manage a Discord community. Also, Herb's Twerk gave 42 bits to say, best stream in ages. That swing state Republican really knows his butt stuff.
Yep. Did you see that? I made this character called
Which one?
Sam, the Swing State Patriot.
Wait, I think I did. It was in one of your videos.
Yeah, he. Gosh, what did I put him? Oh yeah, it was the Toyota Corolla hybrid, and
right.
the whole I don't even know why Toyota made a hybrid offering of their Corolla, because they make the Prius. Like, why are you competing against yourself? And the only
right.
Yes.
No. Right. I'm just.
Oh. Yeah. The only like practical use I could see for the Toyota Corolla hybrid is people who want to drive a hybrid car but are so afraid of their image as a man or as a good American, they can't be seen. And a Toyota Corolla hybrid only says hybrid on one little badge on the back, and you can just get a trim tool and just pop that badge off. And look,
yeah.
It still has an exhaust pipe. So I made this whole character like, I'm a blue state Republican and I got a problem. I started tipping with real $20 bills and not the ones with Bible verses on the back of them. Stuff like that. And you know, I never lose subscribers. Like, I always gain subscribers every day. But when I came out with that, I lost subscribers that day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess like car culture probably is like more right-leaning in general.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'll put it this way: coming out as gay to like a car group would be a considered decision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, more
like
right-leaning.
I came out,
more right-leaning.
I like softly came out over the course of a year, and even now, like, people still don't get it. Like, like the first time I did it was when we reviewed a Studebaker Lark. And I was making myself laugh when I was writing it, because I was just imagining like 1930s guy, you know, advertising stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just reading parts. Those catalogs from the 50s are great because it's just bullshit. Like, yeah. Like, you can have a mirror, or you can have the deluxe mirror that just has like extra bits on it. Like those like old American Art Deco designs, which is just like stripes of chrome that do nothing. I mean, we kind of have the same thing right now. If you look at like the Honda Civic Type R and stuff that has fake splitters that do nothing. You have spoilers that don't do anything. But the 50s just had these like extra metal on the car that does jack shit other than weigh it down. But I'm just imagining this like guy from the 1930s, like so repressed. He just is like doing these ad reads like, and now try Interstate batteries.
Yeah.
And I'm gay! So it was very sort of like Cumtown-esque.
Yeah.
And now, the Studebaker Lark is available as a station wagon for carrying you to pleasures of the flesh.
The tailpipe is curled upward to reach those hard-to-reach places.
I burned my groin, but I have a story for the medical job, the mob medical doctor.
I was hoping that the exhaust would inflate me like a balloon.
Poor Cinder Collie, right?
I discovered how to expand my stomach with carbon monoxide. And I'm gay!
My farts sound deeper.
My wife, in lieu of a divorce, now has sex with a rhododendron bush.
I still have my boyfriend to be as quiet as possible, even though I live alone.
We play footsie under the table while on a Pan American flight.
I fucking love you, Brian.
I love you too, Fred. Great Looper 84 says, I shot my own dick and balls off with my concealed carry Glock at the cracker. That's more modern. Like, well, I shot my own dick and balls off with my concealed carry Glock at the cracker barrel. And now my wife's laughing at me.
Oh my god, there's video of Alex Jones just yelling at people at a Cracker Barrel, or I think it's a Cracker Barrel. Just like getting in someone's face.
Yeah.
I feel like there are places to have fights where you're like, okay, yeah. I feel like every time I see a video of people fighting in like a McDonald's or a Burger King, just any, fast food joint that has counters with curved edges, like that are made to spread the Sprite that you've spilled as evenly as possible on the floor. Yeah. All I can think is the moment someone like gets a cut and they hit the floor, like, oh, that's infected, baby.
Yep.
Like like that's all I can think about is like every surface within this building is like a vector.
Yeah. It's like more disgusting than a middle school locker room.
Right, it's just utterly disgusting. That's all I can think about. I remember when I was little, even like the tables were the sort of sticky plastic. Like you put your finger on it and it won't slide. And I'm like, oh, that like any germ, like a kid sneezes on this. Yeah, that's staying there. That's staying there. How often do you like? And you've seen the way that those people wipe down the counters. They don't give a fuck. Like that's not sterile, baby.
Nope. Fast food places aren't for intelligent people. If you're eating that slop, you deserve everything that happens to you. Oh, but I'm poor, and I'm like, you can be so much more economical. And I know this is like Dave Ramsey shit, but like literally, just buy chicken breasts at the store. Don't give a shit that they're GMO. You're gonna get your protein and everything else. Go buy frozen vegetables. Like literally, I eat the same thing almost every day. So
the big problem is a lot of these people are working multiple jobs. They literally do not have time to cook, and often they'll have kids too. right? Like there's any number of things. It's really a time thing. Like you are paying for the time saved.
So no one educated them that
I can't say I agree with you on that one. It's kind of an avocado toast take.
Right, but like you busted inside somebody. You don't really know, right? The cost to raise a child is about $400,000.
It's wait, 4,000? Like $400,000? Yeah.
$400,000 to raise a child to about 8.
I don't think it's. I think that it's a little more complicated than this.
I know. I'm taking a macro view of it.
Okay. Macro. There you go. You managed to slide the furry in somewhere.
Man.
I
wonder where
can't say I agree with this one, but I will say that I shared an experience I had because I went into a Five Guys. I remember I ordered takeout from Five Guys, and I remember I walk in, I look around, and not everyone in there is overweight, but I look around and I am overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with the sensation. Nobody in here is healthy.
No.
Like, nobody in here is, like, feeling good. And none of these people are going to feel good after eating this burger.
No.
It's
just gonna, that amount, the sugar and dense calories, burgers are fine, but that's a lot of calories that has to be burned off, and it's more of a psychological thing of the happiness and the serotonin and dopamine that gets shoved through you when you eat stuff like that. And it's tough because I have a few friends who are also car people, but they're too fat to fit in some cars.
Right.
And it's like, you need a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a therapist to get you to find a way to stop making the hand go to the mouth. And I wish we could solve that problem, but we're now getting into the fundamentals of human depression and coping mechanisms, and people using food in place of drugs.
It's I think that what I've historically said is that different people have different relationships with food, and that relationship is often not healthy. For example, I have a relatively unhealthy relationship with food. Like, it's gotten better. It's gotten a lot better. But I used to struggle because food for me was a reward, right? Like, have I worked enough today to earn food? That's not
define work.
Healthy. That's not good. Work as in, like, this was happening. In college, it was, have I done enough schoolwork? Right? Like, have I completed a large enough percentage? It when down the rabbit hole was going is, have I done enough work on the next video to justify my caloric intake for the day?
Interesting.
It's like, rather than it being fuel to help me work, it's a reward. Like, congratulations, you have worked enough to continue to exist. Right?
Interesting.
That's what food was. Food was an externalization of that for me.
Right.
And that's not like that was my struggle with it.
So even like on an intellectual level, that you need to consume calories to
of course
your body to dead glucose, but the act of giving yourself something felt wrong about that.
Right. If I hadn't justified, like, if I hadn't earned it. Like, and so when I see people who are habitually eating fast food, because for a lot of people it is a habit, right? People who aren't in a comfortable or good enough place to really examine. I think a lot of people end up making fast food a habit because it does give that dopamine, and then they even if it is expensive, the convenience and also the habit is so strong, and they aren't comfortable enough. They aren't in a comfortable enough situation in their life to perform proper self-analysis. They just, They don't think about it, and no amount of saying, that's bad for you, right, is going to stop them. Because to breaking a habit requires more than just a recognition of the habit. It requires self-reflection, and a lot of people who struggle with with those habits aren't in a comfortable enough economic situation to examine those habits. Like, that does get in the way. They're not worried about what they're eating. They're just worried about getting enough calories. Like, they're worried about satiating themselves. Like, because it's really hard to. That's what the habit. That's what they have been using to feed themselves. Like, that it has become their habit.
Gotcha.
And so it's not a matter of you would do a lot better if you didn't eat fast food. Imagine if do you eat like certain foods regularly for breakfast?
Yeah, I eat oatmeal with raisins in it.
Imagine if I said stop eating oatmeal with raisins. In the morning after you wake up, when you're groggy, you're still going to reach for the oatmeal and raisins. Or it is going to be an extra thought, like what else do I eat? Fuck.
Oh, it's a
pattern
I'd
interrupt.
To eat like apples or something else other than because oatmeal, like I eat plain oatmeal, which is clean carbohydrates, and I just add raisins to that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But I see what you mean. Like something that's a staple, and I usually only eat that when I'm editing. Like today, I didn't. Mm-hmm. I just ate leftovers from last night.
Yeah, it's so my point is that when people do start, like when they do get on that habit, it's more about the habit than it is a conscious choice.
Right.
And so people, even if they know that fast food makes them feel bad, right, or they know it's bad for them, it's what they've been doing, and they're not in a position where they can properly examine that habit.
Right.
A lot of people aren't. A lot of people just don't have the income for it. A lot of people are making just enough money to make rent and eat enough food to satiate themselves. It's hard to think it is hard to think about the long term when it's already a struggle making sure that your stomach isn't screaming at you, right? A lot of people are one missed paycheck or like one late paycheck away from missing a week's worth of meals.
I agree with you, but through personal experience, and I know this is not the greatest example, I'm just trying to empathize. When I was in grad school, I was making about $600 a month. So that's where I learned the economics of feeding yourself, where you have maybe $80. Now this is 2010 money, $80 a month for food.
Right.
And the way I did it was, and I didn't have access to a Costco or anything like that. I had rice, I had a big bag of frozen vegetables, and I had some sort of revolving meat that I would cook at night. And I'm not a good cook. I just put it on simmer so it wouldn't burn. And the rice took a little bit of practice to get it to come out right. You had to check them from time to time on the stove. And I just cooked that. And I would add to that multivitamins. And that was it. That was... occasionally, if I had money, I'd have some cheese with it. But that was my lunch and dinner for 2 years. And looking back, if I had figured out oatmeal and raisins, I could have saved even more money than eating cereal. Cereal, by the way, you shouldn't be eating. Most of it, and stuff in the boxes, it's back sweetened. All that sugar just makes your insulin spike. It's not doing you any favors. Yeah, it's fortified with vitamins, but so is like one a day vitamins. So But at the same time, I was single, and I had the benefit of being raised by a naval officer. It was my dad, and my mom was a stockbroker. So they were doing fine, and they were able to teach me about finance as a teenager.
Right.
So that is, if you want to talk about privilege, there it is. To understand how money works.
You came from a place where you could like, okay, I'm gonna have a lean budget. I can plan, right? You started out, okay, like I know where my next meal is coming from. I know that I'm going to have a next meal. Let's get ready for lean times.
Yeah.
Like, you were able to plan for it.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, so this is a comedy podcast. We're talking about this stuff.
I don't know if this is what you call a comedy stream. I don't know. Oh, Enzo gave 100 bits to say, I wipe the tables at my fast food place at least twice a day. Once when I come in, and again when I'm not with doing prep. When you're not doing prep. Don't get me started on the bathrooms. These people are disgusting. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Dude. Public spaces are. Ugh.
Yeah, when I was living that life, I needed a little bit extra money, and then I was already working for the dean, writing speeches and stuff like that. But I took a early morning job, and this is, if you call this a boomer moment if you want, but I just answered something on Craigslist. We need a janitor for this factory. So I would wake up 2 days a week at 5:30 in the morning and go a few blocks over, and I was a janitor. I would strap on my Ghostbuster style backpack vacuum, and I would clean. It's still there in Kutztown. I think it's still there. It was called Solo Labs, but it was one of these companies that makes orthopedic insoles for old ladies with gout. And I'm like, okay, there's an entire business around this. And my job was clean the conference rooms, empty out the trash, and do everything that a normal janitor would do, and also sweep up all the little bits of rubber dust from the factory when they're making this thing on an assembly line. And why did I tell that? Why did I even start talking about this braggadocious story? Something about something. Other than, I guess, finding opportunity or something?
Just the or it came from just talking about the disgusting state of public, like.
Oh yeah,
so it's not public. It's technically private property, but
old men can't pee in the urinals.
Yeah,
they like pee on the floor. They pee on the walls. It's just like you ever seen like old men who just do the move? They just take their dick out and they don't even hold it. They just sort of stand there and just, it's going. I'm like, how do you live with yourself? And then also in the women's bathroom, when I clean the women's bathroom, the women who work there like spite pooping on each other, where they would just like shit a little on the seat. And I'm like, wait a minute, I've never seen this before.
How do you do that? Like, it takes effort.
I don't know. It's like, well, let's talk about the mechanics of how you're going to shit on the seat accidentally on purpose. I guess you would have to spread your ass cheeks apart, and then do a little dab on the seat before you wipe.
Right. Just
I'm like, well,
make sure.
Well, I'm 29 years old. I'm a graduate student, and in about 15 seconds, I'm going to be cleaning up lady shit. And that's straight from, or that's a paraphrase from American Movie.
So for a while, for a short while, I did have a receptionist job, and but one of my jobs was to clean the toilets. It was and it was a place that it was I'm trying not to dox myself. I'm trying to think. I guess this wouldn't be doxing. It was a music school for kids.
Okay.
So it would be like one-on-one lessons with musicians that were teaching kids, and I one of my duties was to clean the toilet, and I'll be damned, it was never bad. It was always fine. Like and I compare it to most public bathrooms I've seen. I'm like, wow, I've got this easy. What the fuck? Like, people complain about kids being disgusting, but I'll be damned, right? Like, these kids sure are going to the bathroom better than adults.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, and make no mistake, children are disgusting.
Oh,
they're,
yeah.
Like, they're filthy. But
yeah, it's not all the
I guess
time.
that's the one exception. Maybe, you know what it is? Maybe it's because since the kids have just learned, and it's not exactly a difficult activity to use the toilet, they are still consciously considering what they're doing when they're using the restroom. Whereas adults are just like, yeah, I'll just fucking, you whip your dick out and you just do the piss. And they're not, because they're not conscious of how they're doing it, it just... let's say the nuances.
Probably a liberal working here. I'm gonna show him.
No, so see, that's the thing is, I don't think that it's conscious. I think that because they aren't thinking of the minutiae of using a toilet, it's slapdash. Oh, Emmerich, thanks for the 2 months. Hoot hoot. Yeah, hold on.
Is that you making that noise?
Yeah.
Is that a recording?
No, that's me. That's just my voice. Hold on. Look at the stream. I have something for you. Because this talk reminded me.
Damn. Fuck. Wow. I like your pee-pee.
Okay, when you're at a urinal next to a tall person.
I like your pee-pee. One more time.
Damn.
One more time.
Fuck. Wow. I like your pee-pee.
How does he make his eyes go in 2 different directions? Because I don't think that his eyes were doing that when he walked in. I guess you can't really see them, so maybe they will. Maybe he has a lazy eye.
Did we talk about Yellow Pee-Pee Monster?
No, we didn't.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk about this sometime. Brian, there was one thing I wanted to watch with you. You know The Onion, right?
Yep.
Back in the day, they used to be a lot more biting. It's really depressing. Yeah, and speaking of fast food, actually, there is... This video was... It is depressing to say that it was prescient.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, are we watching something?
Yeah.
Researchers at the Domino's Pizza Institute announced yesterday that they are nearing completion of their 30-year study testing the limits of what human beings will eat.
People willingly ate everything our lab created. In fact, they pay money for it. The results continue to surprise me.
Over the course of the study, Domino's scientists have found that decreasing the nutritional value and increasing the visual repulsiveness of their pizzas only makes them more popular.
This applies to the crispy melt pizza. It's basically one pizza inverted on top of another pizza. It looks like something no animal should consume, much less a human.
One recent creation is constructed out of a cardboard-based crust layered in Oreo cookie crumbs and drizzled with a wax-like substance.
We hypothesized that the sight of it alone would repulse customers, but it became one of the most popular items on the menu.
I think that might be real now.
Yeah,
I don't think it was real at the time. Yeah.
Those scientists now believe that a certain percentage of human beings may have a genetic predisposition to eat unhealthy foods made from other, even unhealthier foods. The Institute will next test human tolerance of the crispy nacho platter pizza, the big New York hot dog pizza, and the strawberries and cream milkshake
dessert
I don't think I can.
Dessert pizza.
In the final stages of the study,
Yellow
we
Pee-Pee
plan to
Monster.
just top the pizzas with actual garbage, but judging from our findings, people will probably eat those too.
Dr. Morris said he initially had moral issues with conducting the tests on humans, but has since come to see the subjects as, quote, cheese and sauce consuming beasts. In international news, the equivalent of 5 Americans were killed in Afghanistan today.
That last bit is so good. It's just out of nowhere. Hold on.
In international news, the equivalent of 5 Americans were killed in Afghanistan today.
In international news, the equivalent of 5 Americans were killed in Afghanistan today.
Nice.
Fuck, it's so good. No, the actors are so good.
Yeah.
I remember seeing what was it? There was one particular one that that turned me on to The Onion. Oh, Enzo, thanks for the 100 bits. Meanwhile, we are feeding humans trash. I mean, it's one way to get rid of industrial waste, right? It could, what was it? The murderer could be anyone in Helgesund. That's over 7 people.
What?
Oh dear. Okay, hold on. I'm spaghetti bobbing, Brian. Every Scandinavian crime drama.
Nice.
Good enough.
Here we go. I'm gonna try sharing my screen with you one more time, and hopefully it takes. You'll have to click on the watch button to actually turn it on.
Okay.
There.
All right, I heard the thing.
Yeah. It should be in the Discord call window now.
All right. It says it's loading, streaming quality. Maybe I can turn the streaming quality.
There we go. No, it's good. It should be good now.
All right.
How's it look? You don't see anything?
All I just see is 3 dots.
Really? Oh, that is obnoxious. Oh well, I guess you have to watch the screen.
All right, I went back to that. I have a orange.
Oh, you can see it.
An orange exclamation point.
Oh no. Okay, maybe I have to turn down the quality. You're gonna get 480p. How about that?
Oh, it's also saying you need to update Discord.
All right. Well, I guess look at stream.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Watching
the stream.
Okay.
Gunnar Gunnarsson? Yeah, there has been another murder. I already know. The victim was my son. You don't seem very upset. We were not close. The killer could be anyone in Helgesund. That's over 7 people. Wait, I'm getting a call. Allow me to slip into fluent English. Hello? Gunnar Gunnarsson? Is it about my son, Gunnar Gunnarsson? Understood. I know who the killer was. Who was it? It was you. You got me.
Gunnar. See, I have no place to talk because my last name is Knutson. Okay, in the first Pokemon movie, there was a line that threw me for a loop. So you know how there are a lot of Scandinavians in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Soda, do. The Team Rocket in the first movie took everyone to Mewtwo's island in a longboat. Like they were rowing it, and one of the parties said, like, I didn't know that Vikings still existed because like Team Rocket always dresses up in some goofy outfit. They said, I didn't know that Vikings still existed, and then Ash says, they mostly live in Minnesota.
Nice.
That threw me off so bad because I'm like, wait a minute. America exists in the Pokemon universe?
I guess. I mean, and this is an English dub?
Yeah, it's an English dub.
Okay.
It's a 4 kids thing. USA is canon in Pokemon, yeah. Crocue, hey, thanks for the 5 months. Vikings don't exist in Pokemon, but Team Rocket does. We were going to look at fucking license plates. We'll have to go a little long, but let's see. Let me see if I can find that Twitter account. Oh wait, California DMV, I think. Plates. Because... where's it? Here we go. CADMV bot. That's what I'm looking for. Got it. So this is a website that collates, you know what? As in the description. What? Real personalized license plate applications that the California DMV received from 2015 to 2016. Posts hourly.
Nice.
So there are a lot of them. Here we have Red Rocker. I am Sammy Hagar, the Red Rocker fan. DMV red. Verdict accepted.
The Red Rocket. They're talking about dog penises.
Yeah, they're talking about dicks.
Classic.
Okay, so this one actually they were completely clear on. Homage to the novel and
Fight Club
movie. Yeah, Fight Club. Yeah. Denied. Cut off mid-sentence.
It's like Fight Club now is like a slightly better version of Boondock Saints. For people who like, of course, you know, Chuck. Is it Chuck Palahniuk or Chuck Palin? I forget how you pronounce the last name of that author.
Oh, this is funny. People try to come up with like little excuses because they don't allow gang terms on the license plates. So the customer, Gustavo's Beast. DMV, G as in gangster.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny seeing what people try. It's funny seeing what people try.
Yeah, I got a G-spot so big, all you have to do is hit my groin with a rolled-up gym mat, and I bust.
Here, Brian. This one's for you.
Still nut.
Steeler nut. DMV nut. Still sexual nut. Reference. Steeler nut. Oh my god. Here. It's so funny what people try to slip past.
My foursome?
Customer's description. Foursome is a group of 4 people playing golf. DMV. Foursome can have a sexual connotation or a golf meaning.
Yeah.
Denied. Oh wow!
Only was in bed once with. I didn't have a threesome. I had a threesome cuddle one sometime, but it was a little bit weird because the person on the other side of the bed I sort of felt sorry for, but also then there was a bit of a cacophony of body odor going on. So I just sort of disassociated and went to sleep.
That's just another gang reference. Let's see. Oh, you're not allowed to have area codes on the on your license plate.
Why?
Weirdly. Yeah, I don't know. Like they. So I'm looking at this. Customer family name DLLL. DMV 310 equals area code.
Huh.
Are area codes another gang thing or something?
I don't know.
Like I don't know why that would be a problem.
Oh, people are saying dildo. Okay.
Dildo?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Dildo. Oh. I wouldn't have caught that. Fuck.
Yeah, so, I guess Dusk Dreamer in the chat said it.
Yeah, a few people called it out. They thought they would get this through.
My Wii.
I love my Wii's. Urban Dictionary says it's a... Oh my god! You guys! This just confirms it. The DMV is using Urban Dictionary to figure out like bad, naughty words. Are you guys? the government is using Urban Dictionary.
Jeez. I love my Cheese Whiz. Like, what did they try to say? I love my car is a Wii.
I think it's supposed to be like, so the DMV says Urban Dictionary says it's a child's term for vagina.
What does 62 up and 36 down mean?
I do not know. Oh, that's the upvotes and downvotes on Urban Dictionary.
Oh, okay.
That's what they're referring to. Are you... In the official documentation, they gave the upvote and downvote count for an entry in Urban Dictionary. Are you kidding me?
It's like
that's
people
amazing.
In government clerks just do research and they type with the back of their hands. You just gotta fill out that report.
YFE621. Yeah, or no, if you did 621, they'd be like area code denied. Let's see. They thought they'd get this one through.
What? Lit as fuck. Okay.
So the customer says, lost in translation and so forth.
Great.
DMV, yep. Lit as fuck.
Nice try.
It was so bold. Are you kidding me? Right. It's so fun. And so forth. What, swing and a miss, but they swung.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, swings count toward your batting average. Is it just me, or is that kind of a weird thing? Like, where with your batting average, like, baseball players just won't swing if, like, sometimes, like, it'll be a good pitch, but they just won't swing because it would affect their batting average, because their batting average only, the only swings included in a baseball player's batting average are the ones they actually take. So they just, like, won't swing sometimes. They're trying to game the statistics.
I guess. If you want to learn about baseball, there's a good YouTube channel called John Boy Media, who does these very
I follow him.
Oh, nice.
I follow him on Twitter. I have a private Twitter account that I use to follow people, but I just follow people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like anything or retweet. But I am following John Boy because his tweets are bangers.
Yeah.
His tweets are, you could say, lit as fuck. More. Okay. Oh. Let's see.
Excuse me, the coffee's wearing off.
Oh, maybe it's time to call it. Would you like to stick around for the art?
Yes, I would love to stick around. I wish I could. Well, we can talk later if I want to have different avatars here, but the amount of art you get is preposterous.
It's actually like my community is fucking awesome. They make such, like, the art is so good, and they're all, I don't know, it's like it's its own community. So how about we have this be the license plate that we go out on?
Fuck you.
Yeah, so customer says ancient Thai proverb for health and vitality.
Right.
DMV.
Right.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Fantastic. You're really clever.
I love that the DMV response is both descriptive and a rebuttal.
Mm-hmm.
It's both. It's fantastic.
These boomers and their cranked up Ford Galaxy prices. Like, in the background, I'm still looking for cars for to recreate Crazy Taxi in real life.
Right.
And they just want so much money for these convertibles. They want, on average, is $30,000 for a Gen 1 Gen 1 Galaxy. And there's no way I could make my money back making YouTube videos with it. So it has to be a Gen 2, which has vertical headlights instead of horizontal headlights.
Right.
So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. It's like, I know people cry me a river. I'm just going to go out and buy another car. But it's going to save me at least $10,000 buying a second-gen Galaxy instead of a first one.
Yeah. No, I get it. At some point, it's like, how far am I willing to go?
Right. And how many gamers really care how accurate the car is to a fictional car from a video game from 1999?
Right. Well, I mean, gamers are weird. Like, gamers get weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put it this way. I know a lot of content creators that create content for gamers, and it's like, I don't know how they do it.
What happens?
Gamers are just very entitled a lot of the time. They're very aggressive. It is a nightmare, the sort of abuse that they get sometimes.
Is it just like people typing stuff on their keyboard at them?
Typing stuff, I don't think anyone has gone too terribly far. They just complain endlessly. Just no end to it. Hold on.
Especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
I mean, if you want to get into the... oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
If you want to get into the minutia of the first Crazy Taxi game, it's interesting how that game predates Grand Theft Auto 3, but it did have licensed music and it did have licensed franchises in it. You know, Pizza Hut, you know, Blockbuster, stuff like that. But it wasn't able to get licenses for the cars that you drive in the game. So there's sort of an amalgamation of classic American cars. The closest car that, like, I think it's Axel or Alex, the main character with the green hair, drives is a Series 62 Cadillac convertible. Is closely what it resembles ish. But anybody with a Series 62 Cadillac wants like $70,000 for them. And Cadillac during that period was almost, even though it was part of General Motors, was allowed to exist as almost its own company. They had their own engines. They may have had their own transmissions. They may have their own specific rear end ratios. It was all unique because that was the best in the 50s and 60s. This is as far as you could go in the United States. This was the best car you could get, was a Cadillac. Yes, Mercedes was sort of here. They existed. But when you talked about cars that existed for different markets, a Mercedes was still for a European and English gentleman. And it was made to be smooth. It was sort of fast, but it was made for smaller roads. Yes, the Autobahn existed, but for the most part, it was more of a nice cruiser, whereas Cadillacs had big block engines. They honestly could move. They were fast. So you had everything. And so if you want to have a classic Cadillac right now, you have to really, it's almost like having a JDM car now. You have to go searching for these parts. Whereas the Fords and Chevys to also an extent, because Chevy, Oldsmobile and stuff, that they were actually Oldsmobiles. I could go on and on and on. This is how you are with some like gamer stuff is how I am with like parts numbers and the way car companies move their product and marketed their product. So Ford and Chevy are never equals. Even when they were at their peak, General Motors was about 3 times as rich as Ford. So Ford was always considered the lesser American brand.
Right.
And then Chrysler always existed, I guess, as Team Mystic. It's the oddball out. It always has been. Some of their stuff was more expensive. They were always the way radical company. They had to do crazy stuff to get noticed. And they did have the Chrysler Imperial, which was a fantastic vehicle. So I can't afford a Cadillac. So now I'm like, well, what is the other car that closely resembles a Cadillac and that's a 1962 Ford Galaxy convertible that also had sort of rounded front. You had not louvers. You had what was sort of almost a tiny little parapet around the headlights. The YouTuber Technology Connections had a very good video about how in America at that time there was one headlight for all vehicles, one, and it was just the round headlight. So the beauty of automotive design in the 60s was, and into the 70s as well, though then you had a new thing, you had square headlights, but in the 60s all car headlights were this one part. So the designers and the artists who created the car had to create a new theme for the face of the car, even though all the eyes of the car are the same. So you moved it around, you put some trim around it to make it look different, even though and that's one of the beautiful things about early 60s designs. You had this one piece of limiting, you had this one limiting element of the front fascia of the car, and then you created that around that. But now as I'm looking for, I'd be willing to go 62 to 64. They kind of are similar. People are still wanting $30,000 for these specific models of Ford Galaxies. So as the early 60s moves into the later 60s, there is a tonal shift in art, design, and music. Everything starts to get harder, more manly and more aggressive. And there's two things that I'd make the argument for this. In terms of strict car culture, in 1964, technically 1964 and a half, the Mustang was invented by Lee Iacocca and other people at Ford. The idea of the muscle car begins then. People can argue the GTO is before that. You can argue Duesenberg. But in 1964, that's the beginning of the Mustang. And that sort of changed everything. But also something else very serious happened in 1963, the year before. JFK was assassinated. So that's a big emotional moment. And you notice from 63 to 64 to 65 and 66, there is a meanness that starts creeping into automotive design. And the beginning of new cinema, where movies were starting to get a little bit more violent and art starts to mimic the reality of the national sentiment. And as such, the Ford Galaxy becomes this bigger, aggressive. It gets a bigger chin. It gets more grills, almost like it's sneering at you. The headlights of the car go from being horizontal to vertical. It almost looks alien a little bit. And it was a very successful design. You went from leaf springs in the backs to coils on a 3-link around the rear axle. And honestly, it's a better driving car, and the small block for Ford was introduced in 1964 as well. Excuse me, 1963. And so that started to become available. So there was a more unified parts network for the car. So I will save money by having a 1966 Galaxy. If I buy the one tomorrow, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wrap the car yellow anyway. It's going to get a checkerboard pattern down the side. And if I can get the little taxi flag to like clip on the top of the windshield, you know, the little box that just says taxi and lights up. People, and if I show up to a convention blasting All I Want by Offspring, and if I wear a Hawaiian shirt and get like
they'll get the idea.
They'll get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
No, valid. I mean, like this has been a pretty big project for you for a while, so.
Yeah, a lot of thinking of it and a lot of financial planning to make the car pay for itself. Because before, when I made my Falcon years ago, I just flew by the seat of my pants, and by the time I was done with all the modifications to the car, I bought the car for $7,000 and spent about $17,000 on it. And it became a fantastic driving car, but also became highly specific. It was now a classic car that could handle, it could stop, and I never put seatbelts in it. I drove that thing 100 miles an hour one time with no seatbelts. I was racing an airplane, and I'm not joking. My friend, we went to a fly-in, which is the airplane equivalent of a car show, and inevitably, if you have a light, tiny little air show, people with classic cars inevitably come up. The two cultures are similar. So I said to my friends, they were going to fly back home. They were going to fly back to the airport, to one little airfield to another airfield.
Right.
And I'm like, I'll race you back, thinking that I had the advantage because I knew they had a pre-flight the plane, and I could just leave. But I knew that a PA-28 cruises at about 120 miles an hour, and if he firewalled that engine, he could be going like 160 miles an hour, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
We could pull up Wikipedia and the Pacific One and whatever like Continental engine that had in, or how fast that plane could go.
Sure.
And he was flying east, which means he had the wind to his back if the wind was blowing. So I get on the interstate, and I just start passing people. And I'm I probably looked amazing in a red 1960 Falcon, just going right past people. Because for people in the chat, the Falcon was the cheap car in the 60s. That was the poor person's car. It would be like a base model Ford Focus today, like not even a new one, like one from the 2000s.
Shut the fuck up, Breos.
What did he say?
Do you drift on an exit ramp? It's a reference to when I got caught. Like, I didn't participate, but I got caught up in a shootout on the highway.
Whoa! In Portland?
I never told you that story, did I? I was picking up a friend from the airport, and when I was just a few minutes away, someone pulls out. So I'm in, I think, the center lane. They pull out. No. I'm in the right lane, and then there's an exit lane. They pull off to the right. They pass me on the right, get out in front of me, stick a pistol out the window, and start shooting at another car.
Great.
It almost like it was very targeted. Like they were going after him, and then there was another van that was also involved that was like kind of tailing them. Then they turned off onto the ramp, and like one of them drifted around the corner of the exit ramp.
In what?
I don't fucking remember. It was also really dark. It was night.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it was. I was caught up in a shootout on the highway.
God damn, that's scary.
It was. I don't know. I wasn't that scared. It didn't affect me that much. I was just kind of like, okay, how do I get out of this without a bullet in me? Right.
What did you do?
My immediate thought when they drifted around the corner on the exit ramp, my immediate thought was, that was gratuitous.
Yeah.
I have no explanation for why that was my first thought. Just what the fuck?
Yeah, like going GTA 5 on the highway isn't enough. You just got to add a little initial D in there to
yeah, right.
A little bit of icing on the cake.
I was kind of impressed at the shooter. The shooter had some pretty good discipline, like trigger discipline. They didn't just fire a bunch of shots. They were like aiming each one. Yeah, I was like, huh.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, good for him. And then they followed. I couldn't just hit the brake because the person behind me could ram into my rear bumper.
Mm-hmm.
And I also wasn't sure if there was another car involved. If I start like swerving around, I increase my risk of getting hit. And if I slow down, then I make myself a target. Like, I don't know what they're shooting, why they're shooting. So I just kind of like very gradually slow down. And it was a good thing that I didn't start making any sudden movements because there was that third vehicle, the van that was following them.
So there was the shooters were in front of you, and then there's a wild card behind you.
Right. Like, I got the feeling that they were somehow involved, but I couldn't be certain.
Mm-hmm.
And then they turned off with the people who, like, with the people involved in the shooting, right? They turned off onto the same exit following them. So, yeah, my instinct was right. Wild card is backup.
Well.
Jump out, boy. Yeah. That was my experience on the highway. Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, so it goes. I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see anyone? No, I don't know what happened with it. I looked in the news and there was nothing about it. Yeah, I didn't call it in. I'm not gonna... I'm not about to become the target of... Like, I don't want the police breathing down my neck, right?
Mm-hmm.
You call something
What are you
in
gonna
and you
say?
immediately become the
This
target.
one car shot this other car, and you don't have a
Right,
dash cam.
exactly. And it's like everyone knows gangs are a problem in the city. Like, whatever. Whatever. Like, I could give them nothing helpful.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't catch any license plates. It was dark. Meh.
Yep. Meh.
Yeah. I was okay, though. You want to look at art?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we have some cute art, and then we're going to scoot. Yeah, well, we might have a few minutes left after the art. So we'll probably do some stuff after that. I have some work to get done, but I also am going to help Nady out with Ixion.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to introduce Nady to Ixion.
Going to the gym, and then
nice. Yeah. What are
Nick
you up
to
to?
give me the script for the next, or his bit for the next bit of RCR or what have you. Okay, so I see a art. There are two hands here with fire coming off the bottom.
It's a fucking owl.
What is the meaning behind it?
It's a fucking owl. It's a goddamn nightmare.
Is that what it is? It's a nightmare?
He's here to cause problems. Thank you, Scarlett. Okay, Shala has a work in progress. What is this? I think there's audio with this.
Okay, turn on the audio.
My fat nuts will make tea bagging look like a mercy. Have a sippy of this, motherfucker.
Oh my god, the Brian. The AI voice. They plugged my voice into an AI generator and then put a filter over it. Except that scream, I think, was organic. Thank you, Shala. Oh, we have a scarf date, an update on the scarf that Caldero is making for Chris Yim. Work on the Chris Yim scarf continues at a good pace. I finally so Caldero always does crocheting while I'm doing stream. And they've been giving updates on their creations, like at the end of every stream. I'm finally fully over whatever plague visiting London gave me. I'm really enjoying working with this wool, though. It's really smooth and almost silk-like. Nice. Also, we always... Ooh, hold on a second. Caldero has a new profile image. We always bully Caldero because Caldero's goat is adorable. Oh, the fella. This week, everyone pet Caldero. At Caldero T Owl Pet. Now. No.
So this is an Undertale piece of art, right?
No.
No?
It's just their character. They have a goat. They got a goat. They got a goat. Yeah. The chat just... Yes. Thanks for the update, Caldero.
Okay, I see a bunch of like knitting or...
Yeah, that's the scarf that he's working on.
Oh, okay.
Maya Bunny has... Here we go. Sorry, I haven't drawn... Oh, you're fine, Maya. I have... You're totally fine. It's Maya and me just staring down.
Nice.
Just stare. And you.
And me.
I like their interpretation of you. Just, yeah. Just kind of chuffed to be here.
I am chuffed to be here. Indubitably.
That is the kind of thing that Brian says. And we have Sorry. Starry Feathers has a sketch page. Good.
Oh, I like this. This is nice.
Do the car and do the money. I yeah.
Oh, the
Starry
hummingbird
Feathers
conversation. I like that.
Yeah, Starry Feathers often does. Almost always now does a sketch page of like the stream.
Look at that. There's the one with the vibrating the vibrating razor.
Oh no. What do you mean I'm a little horse? Hey, I'm not. Did they just make a pony, a My Little Pony me? Yes. I'm being pet. Do you know where you are? And it doesn't stop the pets. Nothing stops the pets. They just pet. Oh, wait. Prime 1 bit. So apparently there is a user. I missed this. There is a user. This is an automated cheer. Cheer 5,862 of 10,000 completed. So they're just going around the channels and giving a bit. What the fuck? It's fucking crazy. What? I'm just looking at this now. Crow Q, thank you for the 5 months. Hey, thank you so much, everyone. Starry Feather sketch pages are so good. There's me catching a frisbee. Look, frisbee. It is perfectly normal to enjoy frisbees. I like frisbees. Fuck off. There's me doing my Markiplier impression. Even the pink mustache. That is such a good face. What the fuck? Yep, there's you with the razor. How does a throat do that? Practice. Oh no, stop. Starry, stop. Stonks. Capitalism, money, stonks. So it's like that, huh? Doesn't get it. And hummingbird communication.
Aww.
We are communicating.
I got something to communicate to you.
Okay. And then here we go. Story brought it back. So now
it's the
you
Falcon.
Drawing. It's you drawing. Yeah, it's you. It's you driving.
Well, someone went deep and found, unless they just went to my page and just saw.
They just went to your page, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems gratuitous. Hold on, let me move you. There. That seems. They did this art originally when I told the story of like me being involved in a highway shootout. I guess like what do you use the term? Involved implies that I like did some of the shooting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't. Thank you very much. In before Fred's a pussy for not getting involved in the shootout. I mean, if someone starts shooting, it's time for you to join, baby. I was caught in the middle of a shootout, yeah. Fortunately, like, I wasn't in the crossfire. Can't believe Fred ordered a hit. Oh, dear. Brian, we've got a little bit more time. We got about 10 minutes before we find a raid target.
Okay.
I want to, you know what? I have things. I have things.
Yeah?
I have things.
Can we do a low voice off?
What do I have?
I can go lower than you.
What?
I'm on it.
I'm not trying.
Wait a moment.
I missed it.
Actually, oh, good. That's good.
Yeah, I can throat sing.
I'm
surprised.
gay, Loren.
I'm gay.
Oh my god! Right there. That's a line. Right there is it. That is it.
I'm
gay. Dune 2, Part 2.
Dune harder. Right, there's a Twitter account that I really appreciate called Can You Violate the Geneva Convention? And it basically finds video games where you can violate the Geneva Convention.
Okay.
You can kill the shit out of civilians and destroy all humans, but as far as we know, these little gray aliens haven't signed on to any international agreements regarding war crimes.
Huh.
So that's fair. You can violate the Geneva Conventions in Animal Crossing, New Horizons by ignoring Gulliver. The wounded, sick, and shipwrecked shall be collected and cared for. You can probably violate the Geneva Conventions in Hogwarts Legacy, but we're not playing that shit to find out. Wait, is that Harry Potter and Grand Theft Auto? It absolutely is. You can violate the Geneva Convention relative to the treatment of prisoners of war. Article 13. Prisoners of war must at all times be humanely treated in those awful mobile game ads. You're a gangster, Harry. Oh my god, Brian, have you seen Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone with guns?
No, I haven't.
They go in. Someone went in and just very shoddily replaced all of the wands with guns. It's kind of amazing because you realize how little wands are actually used in the first movie.
Yeah.
And just you'll be watching the movie and then suddenly someone pulls out a gun and shoots.
Nice.
It's so good. It's so good. It's a beautiful editing, but it is not convincing at all.
Right.
There's that bit where what is a the character who's kind of like bumbling a little bit, and he like stops Harry and Hermione and Ron from going out, and he's like, I'll stop you, and then Hermione casts a spell with her wand, except in this version, she just shoots him in the head.
Nice.
And then Neville Longbottom. Yeah, Neville Longbottom. For his neutral special, he has a gun. Hey, Slush. Sorry about this, Neville. Bish. And then of course, he's like in a later scene. And so he comes back with bandages over his forehead.
Nice. Just like motion tweened on top of it or something? Or is that in the movie? Because I've never seen the movies.
No. There are no guns in Harry Potter. It's...
Okay, I figured that.
Yeah, it's a full edit of the movie. It is literally the entire movie, except all the wands are replaced with guns. It is amazing. Like you'll be watching and it's like, oh yeah, Harry Potter, all right, no, I'm having fun with this. And then just suddenly someone whips out a gun. It's like, oh yeah, right, this is the gun version.
Nice.
It's so good. It's so good. Okay, so this is amazing. Did you know Among Us violated the Geneva Conventions? Like, actually violated them? Among Us said, fun fact, after the game got big in 2020, we had to change the color of the Medbay cross because we apparently violated the Geneva Conventions Act by making it red. Oops.
Huh.
Yeah, red crosses can only be used for like actual real life medical purposes.
Oh,
okay. It's a very common error. Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize it. think it's about that time. Brian, thank you for joining.
Rhythm and the rhyme.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Brian.
Yes! Go to the gym. Let's do manly shit.
The Red
Gotta
Cross
watch old men and their penises going flopping all around the place.
I'm sure you'll have an excellent time, Brian.
There was this guy in the gym the other time, you know, he had, like, I go in the sauna. My deal is the sauna. So I have these, like, sauna men friends, and who just go in there and talk, and it's, sauna's great. This one guy was telling me the story, and you probably heard of it. It's something from the 70s. There's this conspiracy of this guy who supposedly made a car that ran on water, right?
I remember this, yes.
Yeah, and the idea is that the government killed him. And the truth was he was just a very unhealthy guy. He had a brain aneurysm.
Right.
But his technology kind of works. It's that experiment that everybody does, or most people do.
Right, it's like, it technically works.
Yeah, you put electricity in water,
right,
and you can break down the, water molecules, and you can get O2 and hydrogen. You can get hydrogen gas coming off, and you somehow collect that, and it's a combustible gas, and you can run it in an engine. And yes, you can do that. And it's one of these things where I don't want to get into it with local yokels in this town where I live, because this place is so cheap, and I'm not making, even as a semi-successful YouTuber, I don't make enough money to own a house yet. So I get just inundated with these adults who stopped thinking critically 30 years ago.
Right,
so,
yeah.
Yes, you can take some leads off of your alternator. Well, the aquatic monster, how this comes back to sauna penises, is this guy was only wearing a towel, and he'll put his towel on after he gets out of the sauna, right? Anyway, so the science of it is you could put a whole lot of plates in a jar of water. But the thing is, you can't just have normal tap water, because that has minerals in it and will corrode the plates of steel.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you need, like, distilled water.
Exactly. So, and you can get hydrogen off of this, and you can collect it, and it can be run into an engine. But the problem is, that's not throttleable. Like, if you need to mash the foot down, it's not like you're making more electricity from your alternator. Your alternator is made to cap out at, so cars run on 12 volts, but your alternator kicks out between 13.5 and 14 volts. So it can charge the battery that starts your car.
Right.
Because your battery is under tremendous load when it has to turn the starter motor, because there's tons of amps that go through that to turn your engine over. Now, your car is a little bit different because yours is a hybrid. It has a battery pack. It works a little bit differently. But it still runs on 12 volts. Like, the accessories of everything.
Yeah.
So you cannot meet the demands of an accelerating and decelerating engine with this little bubbler thing. And even if you could, the amount of electricity going into this jar will always exceed the output of, even if you put larger and larger alternators on the car, an alternator is still has a mechanical drag on the engine. The electricity that you get from an alternator isn't free. It comes from the mechanical drag coming from the crankshaft.
Right.
So the more electricity you want to make, the bigger the engine you have to have, or the engine has to run at a higher RPM, which needs more fuel, and in this fantasy thing needs more hydrogen. So you're always chasing the dragon. You're always behind the curve on it. And so
this is the same problem as fusion energy.
Is it?
Yeah. It's always like trying to get out more than you put in.
Yeah. We had that one momentary breakthrough, right? Just recently, like a month ago.
Yes. Apparently there was a really big breakthrough made in fusion power, which would be an incredible thing.
Yeah.
Like fusion, fusion is like theoretically the perfect energy source, because all of the what you burn in order to like perform fusion is like non-toxic. Like it's water, right? Or what is it? What are the elements? I think you can do different elements, but it's totally not. It's safe. Like it's relatively safe. And the biggest problem that you can run into, like if everything fails, rather than like having a reactor meltdown like with a fission reactor, the reaction just stops. Like the problem with fusion is just keeping it going, because if things become suboptimal, then it just shuts down.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
Very
so it's like,
cool.
it's theoretically practically unlimited energy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
That's okay. I just went on like a knowledge bomb.
It's okay. Ender Cobra gave 300 bits to ask where to find Brian. Well, you can go to youtube.com/@regularcars.
You can type in regular car reviews into Google. I am the first 2 pages.
Yep.
If you're listening at work, put in your headphones a lot of dick jokes.
Yep, a lot of them, and a lot of good writing.
If you wanna see a video that Fred helped filmed, look up
Grumman.
look up
I
Grumman
show
LLV.
up in the Grumman. Yeah, I show up in the Grumman video.
Yep. And that's
Like,
fun.
for
That's
a very
fun
brief
fact
moment.
you can take to the bank.
It's not fun. Nobody cares.
Not the Grumman LLV. Our mail trucks are made by the same company that made F-14 fighter jets.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, there's
Grumman
a reason that they still get used, right? Well, not so much.
Well,
anymore,
the mail trucks are still functioning because it's a government agency, and you can keep anything functioning if you keep shoveling money into it.
Brian talks a bit about it in the video. Hey, VR Gym. Do you know about the VR Gym? They raid me very frequently, like once they're done. They are a group that does workouts in VR, basically just calisthenic workouts, and they do it every day. It's awesome. Yeah, it's really special.
You get
what
that
they've got.
Nice and sweaty head visor.
Well, I mean, that's why you have a
dripping
cover, a sanitary cover.
down
I have
to
them.
the loins.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, we've got Brian on. Very, very sweet boy. Thank you for joining, Brian.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we are going. You know who we're gonna bother? Who we haven't bothered
can we
in a
read
while?
the weather quick? Can we do a thing that I like to do and end the show with reading the weather?
The weather. Go ahead.
We have.
Oh my God!
I wish we could
wait
play
a minute.
music like.
Wait a
like
minute.
Have a little bit of Weather Channel.
Oh, Bardic, thank you so much for the raid. I hate to say it, but we're just wrapping up. Oh, fat nuts, Fred. Thanks. Wait, am I gonna have to explain fat nuts, Fred, to Brian?
No, I'll find that out myself.
No, you won't. That's a promise. Got him. Okay, so Brian, you know my video about the failed cat cafe, right? The Per Cat Cafe.
Yep.
You remember Diane Kelly, the owner of the Per Cat Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
She learned about my video.
Okay.
And started posting on Facebook, I imagine, with a glass of wine in hand and an empty bottle next to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she talked at length about how she was going to send her cats to rip off my genitalia.
Oh, great.
Yeah, just at length. And also talking about all the venereal disease that I apparently have. So
okay, so she just had a bunch of verbal diarrhea.
No, Diane Kelly is not okay. I mean, what they found? Like, there's a police report where they found her on the floor, having consumed with empty wine bottles and empty containers of cat medication. It was like cat painkillers, I think.
She was eating cat painkillers.
Yeah. And they asked, when did you stop drinking tonight? And she said, I haven't stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just generally not okay. So she's yelling about my genitalia on Facebook, and at one point she says that my balls are so small they would feed a family of 5 ants for 1 trillion years. Now, 5 ants is not a lot of ants, but 1 trillion years is a lot of years.
Yeah.
One of my patrons, Mevelander, did the math, and they figured out that substituting human testicle for pork, the caloric density, if my balls could actually feed a family of 5 ants for 1 trillion years, I would need 7 oil tankers to cart them around.
Hell yeah.
So ever since then, I have been known as Fat Nuts Fred.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can totally dig that.
That's literally every time I show up in Whiskey Dingo's chat, he always goes, "Hey, is that Fat Nuts Fred?"
Nice.
I'm going to change up my Whiskey Dingo laugh literally every time. Literally every time. I will never outlive that. Brian, before we go, have I ever told you one of the most important morals I have learned from internet memes?
No.
Brian.
Fred.
Some time ago, there was a woman, a police officer, named Deirdre Mengado. She unfortunately was shot and killed in the line of duty. Now, I have a question for you. What do you think Deirdre Mengado's... What do you think she thought her legacy was going to be?
Is this a riddle?
In a way. What do you think her legacy...
So she's a female police officer, right?
Right, female police officer. What do you think she thought her legacy was going to be? That she was
shot in the line of duty.
Yep, shot in the line of duty.
But you didn't say she was killed in the line of duty.
No, she was killed.
Okay.
She's dead. Yeah. What do you think on her deathbed she thought that her legacy was going to be?
Was she killed by a perpetrator or
Yeah.
fire?
Yeah. No. It was by a perpetrator, I believe. Or it was a vehicle collision. Excuse me. She was killed in a vehicle collision.
Oh, this was a real person?
Yeah, this is a real person.
And her name was what?
Deirdre Mengado.
Deirdre Mengado.
Deidre, I guess. Deirdre
Mengado. So,
I would like you to look at. I would like you to look at
vehicle.
stream. So obviously, the local news decided to report on her death, and this was how it went.
Final goodbyes to this fallen Louisville police officer, D.D. Mangudu.
Oh, no. Well, that's what you do when you don't prep. And the person in the teleprompter did not write it phonetically.
Now,
oh man,
I do not know what Deirdre Mengado thought her legacy was going to be.
Oh, it wasn't a phonetic
but her legacy is D.D. Megadoodoo. I'm sorry, Mangudu.
Mangi-dohut is if I had to guess the amount of syllables. Like, really, you're not going to spell that out phonetically in the teleprompter? All right.
No.
I would just throw it right back. It's like, you could have written this phonetically in the teleprompter, but you didn't.
There is a moral to be learned here. That moral is that you do not get to choose your legacy. Deirdre Mengado is now D.D. Megadoodoo. I am Fat Nuts Fred. We can invite
I think you lucked
legacy.
out with Fat Nuts Fred.
I'll take it. I will take it over Mangudu. But my point is, don't worry over much about what your legacy is going to be. You don't get to choose it anyway.
All you have
Thank you,
to
everyone, for joining.
Is worry about the weather. Today, at RCR Central, it is 54 degrees and cloudy. Rainy conditions expected from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., with thunderstorms expected at 7 p.m. Today's temperature, the low, was 41 degrees, with a high of 58. And tomorrow, the low will be 27 degrees at 12 a.m. and the high will be 58 degrees at 10 a.m. I don't like this new app on iPhone. It doesn't give you like the metrics, which is so fun to read, like visibility and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go full on Weather Channel.
Oh, yeah. I get ya. Excuse me?
Low.
Hold on.
Oh,
Stop. Stop. You're fine. Just... Why is Rev playing Nekopara Volume 1? Nekopara is a Japanese word from the words neko, meaning cat, and para, meaning I enjoy disappointing my parents. No, we're rating Rev. We're rating Rev. Charity incentive. Good. Good. Everyone, please enjoy Rev playing Nekopara. Brian, thank you for joining me. And everyone else, I will see you on Saturday. We are going to be looking, we're getting an inside look at the sort of the state on the ground of a crypto ATM. We one of my viewers was directly involved in installing and maintaining them, so we're gonna get a little bit of extra info on that, and there's some more funny things that happened around that. I also just have a bunch of other things that I want to share that have been building up. Raid message. Raid message.
You are listening. And now your local forecast. Accurate and dependable from the Weather Channel.
Now, you know what? He's playing Nekopara. Our raid message is, I enjoy disappointing my parents. Smiley face. Hey, Mary. We're actually just calling it now. We are about to throw it over to Rev. You could use a hug? Okay. I'll see you in just a second. Everyone, I'm going to go attend to Mary. Enjoy Rev. Brian, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me. Love to do it again sometime.
Yeah. Goodbye.